Hi, welcome to Hollowhead Workshop. My name's Tom Singer. Well, I have an older brother who was interested in horror movies and science fiction, and I caught the bug from him. And I wanted to make Super 8 movies when I was a kid, and I played around with that a little. And I got some magazines about doing special effects. Around 2020, I saw online people were making these really good Iron Man costumes, and I couldn't figure out what they were making them out of because they really looked shiny and realistic. And I found out they were making them out of EVA foam, which is a lot of times in floor mats. And I started playing around with that. And actually, this guy is all EVA foam. It's really dusty right now. That's an early creature I made. And so I started making some things out of EVA foam, and I kind of always wanted to make a latex mask. And the more I looked at stuff online, the more things I'd find, and eventually I found a place in Texas, Stilt Beast Studios. Alan and Shannon, they're awesome. Yeah, so Alan and Shannon down at Stilt Beast Studios in Texas, they run a class called Monster Camp. They have a couple of different ones. They have an airbrush camp, latex mask camp, and actually they have a few of those. They have a beginner and an advanced, and they even have a whole head mask camp. They have a fantastic haunted attraction down there called Dark Hour, and they teach tons of people all kinds of cool stuff like that. So I went and took this class, which is something I never thought I would do, and I learned how to make a latex mask. And actually, that one right there, it's not it. I'll show you later. I have the very first mask I ever made, and I'm pretty proud of it. And I've been trying to get better since. I don't really have one in particular, but yeah, Tom Savini, Stan Winston. I'm not really big on remembering the names, unfortunately, but I'm impressed with all of those guys' work. And I've followed it over the years, and I'm trying to do some of that now. I get an hour or so a day during the week, and it can take me weeks just to do the sculpture. And an hour or two maybe to make the plaster mold. And from there, you're pouring latex and waiting for it to dry. So we got a lot of different kinds of paint we can use. These are Createx colors that you can run through an airbrush. I've got pearlized colors, fluorescent colors, opaque colors, and transparent. They're really nice, and you can get really nice effects with those. There are things you use more for details. All of this stuff here is latex mask paint. It's a nice mixture of some materials that sticks really well to latex. And another thing you can use for a lot of details are these acrylic inks. I got two different brands here. They're nice to mix with alcohol, and you can spray it on, let it dry. It goes down into all the crevices and details, and then you take straight alcohol and gently wipe it off, and it takes the surface paint off, but leaves all that nice color in the details. Okay, so everything starts with a clay sculpture. Well, not everything, but latex mask starts with a clay sculpture, and that's a work in progress right now. It's got quite a ways to go. After your clay sculpture is ready, you cover it with plaster, and you end up with a mold like that. Captures all the detail if you do it right. And we try to make it sort of like a bowl. We pour liquid latex in there and let it dwell for maybe an hour or 2 hours. The longer you let it dwell, the thicker your mask gets. After it dwells long enough, you pour it out, and the plaster absorbs the moisture from the liquid latex and creates a skin. So you end up with a latex rubber mask in there, and you can peel it out. So this mask has already been out of the mold, but I just stuck it in here to show you how it works basically. And you pull it out, cut out eye holes, nose holes, and that's what you get. And you can paint it however you want. This is the first mask I ever made down at the Stiltbe Studios class. It's based on a real creature that lives, I think, near thermal vents in the ocean. Unfortunately for us, the real creature is microscopic. But this is what it's based on. I have no idea what color it's supposed to be because I don't think the color photos of it are actual color. But yeah, that was fun to sculpt. And at one point, the teacher came over and he wanted to give me some advice, and everybody's doing something with a humanish face. And he just looked at it for a while and he said, I'm not sure what to tell you, which I thought was funny. So here's one of my recent ones. This is going to be Albatwitch. And I am going to be vending at the Albatwitch Festival in Columbia this October. He's going to get a lot of hair. He just doesn't have it yet. This might not even be the final paint for this particular guy. One of the nice things about making these from a mold is you can make copies fairly easy. So we got different skin tones, and I just started putting some color on the teeth. This is the biggest piece I ever made. He's quite tall. He's made out of 5-gallon buckets stacked up. I learned this also from Stiltbe Studios. Added to a skull that I bought. This is landscape fabric. And his hands are made out of expanding foam.